Touchdown, Kansas City! I want to get this Lombardi trophy and bring it home and then celebrate with all of you in what it means to win a world championship together.
Happy Red Friday. Make that Super Red Friday. I'm Jessica Lovell, and like Mitch Holthus just said, we are celebrating with all of you on this very special edition of the Morning Medical Update. We are beaming with Chiefs spirit and dedicating today's program to the Kansas City Chiefs and the staff here at the University of Kansas Health System, keeping the players and all of Chiefs Kingdom in good health. And I am thrilled to be sharing the desk with this guy. How are you? Desmond Moses is joining us today, former Chiefs linebacker, now an ambassador for the Chiefs, and you also might recognize him. He does Chiefs analyst for KCTV5, so not your first rodeo.
Yeah,
you know
not my first time.
You know what you're doing. So glad to have you with us. You were with the Chiefs from 2013 to 2016, so you played under Coach Reid.
Absolutely.
What's it like seeing Big Red go back again?
Yeah. You know what? I grew up an Eagles fan, so this is an experience for me. I was a fan of Andy Reid before I even knew him personally, so to get the opportunity to play for him was something that was really special. The type of guy, the offensive coordinator he is, really, really special and elitist in the NFL world. And, you know, just getting this experience to actually play for him, work with him, Andy Reid is everything he's cracked up to be. Andy Reid is truly one of the best coaches and offensive coordinators in the National Football League.
One of a kind. A good time to be an Eagles fan.
Oh, yeah.
You can be both. You can be both. But Chiefs #1 today. We're going to be talking with you throughout the show. So thanks for being with us again. Yeah. And we have a lot to get to. A chat with the head team orthopedic surgeon for the Kansas City Chiefs, a former NFL player helping local athletes. We're going to talk about the rise in Chiefs-related baby names, what all this hype does to our hearts, plus food, pets, and lots of great memories coming up here this morning. But let's head straight to where it's at in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we find Dr. Paul Schreppel, an orthopedic surgeon and clinical service chief for the Department of Orthopedics and Sports Medicine at the University of Kansas Health System. He is also the head team orthopedist for the Kansas City Chiefs. Dr. Schreppel, it's 6 a.m., so thanks for getting up with us bright and early. How's Vegas?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Jess, and good morning, Des. Good to see you. Vegas is good, but you're right, it's early.
Well, so, Dr. Schreppel, how does this pregame excitement compare to previous Super Bowls, other than the obvious that you're in Las Vegas?
You know, I think there is something that comes from the experience. And it's been a big topic of conversation. I think a lot of news networks this week is, you know, how much does that play into it? And there's just so many things that come with a week of preparation being down here that I think when it's the first time for a team or for an individual player, there's probably a lot to take in. You've got family and friends and all these other things going on. And I think for this team to have seen it and been there, I think that experience really helps them just kind of settle into the week and maybe focus a little bit more on what they're preparing for.
So speaking of focusing, what does our healthcare team really focus on during this week leading up to this big game?
Yeah, I mean, my focus is trying to get everybody as healthy as possible by Sunday. So I think having that extra week is really important. You know, our exceptional training staff is working hard to get everybody's bodies right, do soft tissue treatments, got to bring some of these injuries along as quickly as we can, look at, you know, who's really ready for this weekend. But you know, like I said, having that extra week is critical.
We all know the weather has been quite extreme getting here to this very moment. But how does it feel to be in a warmer climate and then knowing that you're going to be in a climate-controlled stadium?
Yeah, the strange thing is that the hardest game from a climate standpoint from that challenge is their first game. You know, it's only gotten better from there. So when you play in -5 and almost -30 wind chill and then go to 25 and then go to almost 50, and now we're, you know, at a probably balmy 70, yeah, things have steadily improved throughout the playoffs. So from that standpoint, this would be the best circumstance we've had.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach Reid has mentioned on national interviews just how nice that stadium is. So from a healthcare perspective, though, is there much of a difference in playing in one of these newer stadiums versus in what many of us think of as an iconic stadium?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's changes. I mean, the stadiums are 50 years apart, but I think when it comes down to it, you really just got to focus on what you're there to do, and it doesn't really alter what we do for the team or how we approach injury or injury prevention. So it's nice. It's a shiny new stadium, but really doesn't change what we do.
So back here at home in Kansas City, our entire health system team, they have been inspired by the Chiefs this entire season. Dr. Schreppel, how do the Chiefs players inspire you?
I think one of the unique things is getting to see each of these teams and how they evolve throughout the season. And I think I mentioned this on a previous talk, but each team's different. Each team has its strengths and weaknesses and different challenges. And I think to see the team come together and kind of build, to grow through that adversity and overcome the adversity and kind of make the achievements they've had, I think is really inspiring to get to watch and be a part of. So I would say that's the biggest thing I take from it.
And Chiefs President Mark Donovan has complimented you and your entire team in the past, saying that this health system partnership really gives the Chiefs a true competitive edge. And I do not want you to be modest. This is your moment. Do you really feel like you guys are part of the team's success?
I think everyone has an integral role to make the team successful, and that is medical, that's equipment, that's the training staff, that's across the board. I think it really takes everybody performing at the highest level to make the team successful.
All right, Dr. Schreppel, thank you so much. I'll be looking for a Paul Schreppel sighting on the sidelines. I admit it's always fun to see you, but even more fun when it's on the national stage.
Appreciate your time.
All right, thanks for you too. Get some rest. So, Des, when you were playing, what was the relationship like as a player with the athletic trainers and the doctors? What's that like?
It's a constant and growing relationship. It's one that's hand in hand. As an athlete, our body is our vehicle. That's the way that we not only make our money, but that's our business. So we try to stay in tune with what the doctors are saying about our body, what we need to do in order to prep for games and try to get to our highest level on game day.
Yeah, lots of good communication when it comes to the body.
Absolutely.
So it's not just the players. Health system staff also treat Chiefs cheerleaders too. Athletic trainer Michaela Meyer is in Las Vegas right now with the 34 Chiefs dancers who will also be cheering on the Chiefs and on that field on Sunday. She says, if you do not think of cheerleaders as athletes, you are simply wrong.
I challenge anyone who has not seen them perform on game day to really, spend some time looking at what they're doing. Every time the ball is not in play, they're moving. And those games can get long, they can get grueling, and they're subject to, chronic overuse injuries, just like some of your other traditional sports as well.
And Michaela says that one time they put a step tracker on a cheerleader during a game, and she racked up 32,000 steps. So no doubt that these women have earned the respect out there on the field too, right?
Absolutely.
So the health system support for the Chiefs, though, isn't just on Red Friday. This goes back to 2012 when we became the official health care provider of the Kansas City Chiefs. Here is a look back at a season's worth of support from training camp to the playoffs.
Go Chiefs!
And as you were here earlier this week as part of a pep rally for some of our employees, could you tell they were prompt? Were you feeling the energy coming up at you on that stage?
Yeah. That was a group that was excited about what's going on this week and what's been going on the last 2 weeks in Kansas City, the past 4 or 5 years in Kansas City. This is a cool place to be in a special time in Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, it's a good time. So let's talk with someone else who knows what it's like to play in the NFL. And he also happens to work here at the University of Kansas Health System, Roger Allen. He is a strength and athletic development supervisor with the health system, helping athletes get in the very best possible shape. But before that, he was an All-American offensive lineman at Missouri Western University, and he played 4 years in the NFL. He joins us live this morning from the health system's Sports Medicine and Performance Center out in Overland Park. Roger, you played for the Rams, the Panthers, the Buccaneers. So would you call yourself a Chiefs fan these days?
Born and raised, always Chiefs.
Love it. Chiefs come first. So as former players, both you and Des, you get to watch the Chiefs through kind of a different lens, so to speak. When you watch the Chiefs, what else do you see as a player that maybe the rest of us kind of miss?
Well, I think all players instantly go to the position they played. And so I played the offensive line, so I'm always watching the trenches. I'm always watching the warfare going between Chris Jones and the different offensive players we have in the trenches. Obviously, watch Kelsey, but from a different perspective. I'm watching his blocking technique.
Oh, yeah, me too. Okay, so you played at this elite, right? I'm right with you. So you told us that you missed the whole game day experience, which is understandable. But is there anything about the game that you just simply do not miss?
Honestly, and it's probably the injuries, how your body feels in the morning. So everybody sees how fast and well we move on game day, but a lot of times in the morning when I was playing, I'd get up and I could barely move just because all the inflammation in the joints, and it would take about 10 to 15 minutes for my body to actually loosen up and the inflammation to go down so I can move like a normal human being. So I don't miss that at all.
I bet not. So what lessons from the NFL days do you try and teach and pass along to your clients?
Most importantly is to take care of your body. You only get one body on this earth and on this side of the earth. And so I always recommend injury prevention and mobility is a key. Obviously, when you're younger, you have more flexibility, mobility. And so the key is to stay mobile, stay moving, continue to take your body through the full range of motion so that you don't lose that mobility as you get older. So the more sedentary you get, the more stiff you get, and it's harder to regain the mobility you were born with. So if you use it, you don't lose it. And so that's what I'm trying to teach these athletes while their bodies are still pliable.
Roger, stick around. We're going to come back out to you here in just a moment for a little workout demonstration. So does Roger was saying, does that kind of track with your experience with the NFL? How did you feel in the morning?
Oh, absolutely. I think Roger hit it on the head. I'm 35 years old, and I still wake up now and I'm having to check things and make sure everything's moving.
Where it's supposed to be.
I can bend over and knock something out of whack. So Roger hit that on the head. It's something that you give up, something that you sacrifice as part of the game.
And what about watching the game from a different lens? Yeah. How do you see it?
Absolutely. I start with my position, start right out on the edge, the outside linebackers. I see the technique, how they're playing a run, how they're pass rushing, the different techniques, guys that are doing it well, guys that are doing it not so well, and you critique them, and then naturally you watch the game from there.
I'm just looking for 10, 10, 10, and 10. 4 10s, and I'm in. So Super Bowl excitement can speed up the heart. I know I feel mine pumping. And we have brought in one of our cardiologists to kind of help us level out this major roller coaster ride of emotions that we have all been going through. Dr. Travis Love is joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, because this is important, Dr. Love. Matters of the heart are a real thing when it comes to cheering on your team all the way to the Super Bowl. That takes stamina on your heart. So take us inside the body. How is our heart really handling all this?
Yeah, I think just as we get really anxious about the game and the build up to the game and throughout the game, we just start to speed up our heart rates a little bit. I mean, you feel it in your chest as your heart rates pick up, and that's kind of natural. That's your body doing what it's supposed to in these situations, and you can absolutely feel it.
So do you have any cases where, like, a patient learns that they have a heart problem because maybe they felt something going on while they were watching a game?
Yeah, I do. There's a couple times where I've had people say, I developed some chest pain. I remember it being around the time of the Chiefs game or something like that. I don't know that there's an actual correlation with the game. It's just something that sticks out to them or whatever. But yeah, absolutely. Occasionally people will say, I remember this chest pain starting around the time of a football game.
Yeah, it's a good stress test. So leave the food out of this question, but any heart-healthy game day tips for us?
Yeah, I think just try not to get too worked up, try not to get too anxious when you get up in the morning. Take your medications if you have high blood pressure, if you have things like coronary artery disease, make sure you still take your medication that day. Make sure you don't miss it in the evening, and that'll help protect you throughout the game.
Have you been feeling the heart palpitations lately?
I've been feeling it for weeks, absolutely. I'm excited.
Okay. All right, stay healthy for us. We really appreciate your insight today, Dr. Love.
For sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you bet. So, Des, you have a daughter, right?
I do. 5 years old.
5. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, okay, Naomi. Was she named after anyone special, or?
Her mom gave her that name, and I love it because it fits her perfectly. She's a little firecracker.
It's a good name. It's a good name. So, but listen to this. So, our nurses up on the mother-baby unit and at the NICU, they said that they've noticed more and more parents giving their kids Chiefs-inspired names.
Sure.
It kind of makes sense. It's kind of a cool time to do that. We don't have any hard numbers, of course, but anecdotally, they're seeing more Patricks and Andys and Travises and Kelseys, and I kind of like Reed.
I like Reed.
That's kind of cool, right? One of the nurses up there, Savannah Dower, says that there are even times when parents, and by parents I'm wondering if it's dads, get a little distracted if mom is in labor during one of the Chiefs games.
I definitely keep my eyes on the patient, never on the TV if that's what they have on. But, sometimes you have to rein the parents back in and focus them on the delivery versus the game going on that may be very exciting.
Yeah, keep your eye on the ball, so to speak. I know you would never do that.
No.
You'd be totally focused and locked in.
Football? No.
No way. But kind of a cool story for the baby book to be birthed during like a Super Bowl win for the Chiefs.
Wow, that would be a special baby, a super baby.
That would be a super duper baby for sure. And Savannah says she expects to start seeing more Taylors being born. We have to be inclusive and say that Taylor, I think it's fair to say Taylor Swift is part of Chiefs Kingdom now.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Quick thoughts?
A boy and girl name.
There you go.
I love Taylor. You know what? Travis is a good friend of mine. Whenever you see a friend happy, you're happy.
You got to be happy, right? And
Exactly.
I've heard a lot of dads say that that having Taylor there has also brought them and brought their daughters to the game of football. So they've been able to enjoy and bond over that. So
absolutely. I got a 5-year-old, and she's in tune when Taylor Swift's at the game.
She is locked in. I love that. Well, Chiefs Kingdom is international, and our team at the University of Kansas Health System also comes from many different and diverse backgrounds. But our love for the Chiefs, it is all the same. Enjoy this video of our team members cheering on the Chiefs in different languages.
Kansas City 酋长队加油 ！Kansas City 酋长队必胜！
Kansas City Chiefs కు క్షణక్షణం విజయక్షణం ఆనందంగా ఆటక్షణం.
Chúng tôi, các thành viên ở University of Kansas Health System, chúc cho đội nhà Kansas City Chiefs được chiến thắng vẻ vang, nhiều may mắn và đem chiến thắng về cho đội nhà. And go Chiefs!
Madangta, kamalakine, ya mulukim de takamong na ot ingilo budu. This is the Bari language, one of the 64 languages spoken in South Sudan in Africa. It means hello, we wish you blessings, we wish you well in this big game. In the Bari language, there is no equivalent for the word luck. So you basically speak blessings into somebody's life. Bye-bye.
बधाई हो Chiefs भाइयों, मत से खेलना.
The international language of love of the Chiefs, so to speak. So you know, it's really interesting. And what do you make of this, Des, that the Chiefs really have become really this global brand?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, they say America's team. This has become the international team. Kansas City Chiefs are so popular. They have such iconic figures like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. It's hard not to love.
And we've seen that in Chiefs teams in the past that, you know, everybody knows about because they go to lots of Super Bowls. But what makes the Chiefs really special in your mind?
You know what? Andy used to always say, let your character show. And I think we've gotten a chance to see that over the past few years. Obviously, going deep into the playoffs gives you an opportunity to get to know these guys one-on-one, personally, know about their girlfriend, the wives. And you feel like you really know these guys. So you have a connection.
That's a really good point. Really good point. Well, let's toss it back out to Roger Allen. He's going to show us one of his football-focused exercises that he uses with some of his clients. And do you have an assistant with you, Roger, today?
Absolutely. This is Jeremy Collier. He's actually a local Aquinas guy. He played linebacker at Aquinas, and they actually went to K-State as a punter.
Nice. All right, let's do it this morning. Let's work it out early.
All right, so here at the Sports Performance Center, we really focus on exercises that are going to translate to the field. So Jeremy is going to demonstrate a lateral lunge. So Jeremy is going to be holding a dumbbell, and he's going to be lunging out to his left. As he lunges to his left, he's going to sink and sink all his body weight to the left, and then push back, stabilizing on his main foot. As he's doing this exercise, you're going to see his glute and hamstring activate. He's going to load up and he's going to push out. This translates to the field for athletes who have to change direction, like Pacheco, like any person on defense. You're going to be able to have to change direction on a dime. So Jeremy's going to drop that weight. We're then going to hook him up to resistance bands. And then from here, he's going to shuffle. Now, the shuffling movement is the exact same as the lateral lunge. He's going to start nice and low. Once he gets to a breaking point, he's going to sink his weight and push the other way. And that's how the exercise from the weight room translates to the field. Jeremy, go ahead and give me a couple of shuffles. So you can't see it now that he's going super fast, but as he's going, he's sinking, dropping, and pushing the opposite direction. Now, we also hook him up to our anchor point, making it harder for him to push and change direction. And the harder we make it, the easier it's going to translate to the field. Then next, we also like to improve our athletes' hands. So one of the unique selling points we have here at the Sports Performance Center are these handcuffs. So if you're a wide receiver or a DB or somebody who has to catch the ball, tight end, we'll play catch. So all it is just simply catching the ball and tucking it just like Jeremy's doing. And I'm gonna throw it outside of his body. Now Jeremy has to punch through the resistance, which strengthens his rotator cuff, strengthens his deltoid, strengthens his triceps, as he's just doing something as simple as just catching the ball, all right, and tucking. So here at the Sports Performance Center, we're gonna put resistance to the normal things you do on the field, and that's gonna help you become a better athlete.
Roger, Jeremy, thanks so much for all you do and getting up with us this morning.
It's our pleasure.
So Des, I know it's been a few years since you've played, but clearly in very, very good shape. What did you have to do to get ready for a game? Like, is there anything you prepped, food, exercise? What were the rituals physically?
Yeah, a lot of that. Physically, you know, you want to get your body geared up. You want to get lubed up, as we call it, get warm, get your body going, some of that inflammation out. And then there's a mental aspect as well. You want to prepare your mind, go through all of your coaching points from the week so that once you go out there, you can really go out there, play fast, not think too much. And then mentally, you know, you got to get emotionally, spirit-wise, you got to get into the mode that's musically.
I was going to ask you, I said, what was on the playlist when you would head out to the stadium? What do you remember anything that would pump you up?
I was a big Jay-Z fan. I like to get into that hip-hop mode right before I went out and just, I said my prayer and brought everything down to quietness, and then it was rage.
Just blast it out. I like that. I like your style. Okay, you're going to love this story. We're going to rewind back 3 years to 2021. Super Bowl 55 had the lowest attendance of any Super Bowl, and that was due to the pandemic. But it was actually a game to remember for 18 lucky employees of the health system who were surprised with an all-expense-paid Super Bowl trip. And this was all a way to say thank you for their tireless work during the height of the pandemic.
We're sorry we woke you up.
Oh, it's okay.
But I'm not sure if you've seen anything like this before. Do you know what this is?
Oh my God. Yes.
awesome. Oh my God.
This is for you.
Really?
Yes.
You guys.
That video never gets old to me. Another lucky employee who went to Super Bowl 55 was John Sorick. He was a respiratory therapist working hard up on Unit 61. This was our very first ICU floor dedicated to all COVID patients. So 3 years later, John joins us for a little reminiscing. John, Chiefs are going back again, but does it ever really get old?
No, does it really? I know we're not
Never.
liked much amongst the nation, but Chiefs Nation's loving it.
Love that. So just to catch everyone up, you're still with the health system, which we're so happy about, but I hear you're no longer working bedside. I know it's fair to say that COVID really took a physical and mental toll on you.
Yeah, COVID hit our whole nation hard, and being a healthcare worker in front lines, you have to pay attention to yourself. As healthcare workers, we are the worst patients because we know everything and we don't have time for ourselves. So it was really nice to be able to have an opportunity to stay with the health system, take a step back, and still be influential in our patients' lives and our health system.
Yeah, you sure are. I said when I saw you this morning, you look well, you look stress-free and rested. So walk us through some of those highlights, though, that trip to Tampa back in 2021. We know that the Chiefs lost, but who cares? It was such a great experience.
Yeah. What an amazing experience. Once in a lifetime, you would think at that time. And then Chiefs are going on this dynasty roll. It was just such an amazing experience to go down there with all these people that I've worked side by side with for so long and still be involved and to be recognized as support for the health system, support for the Chiefs, and just support for everything that was going on in the world at that time.
And John, I recall this being a really emotional time for you. I mean, these highs and lows, working on the COVID unit and then being this great surprise. And what was that like for you? I know you shared it with your family and your kids, but I just remember it being very emotional for you.
Oh, absolutely. My family, as you're showing there, is my rock, my support for sure. Des and I share the same thing. My little girl's 6, and she's very much a Taylor fan, has turned into wanting to watch the Chiefs. And you have to support with where it is and realize that it's not all just for me to carry, and that it's for other people to help.
Well, it's good to see you, John. Appreciate you being with us and kind of going way, way back with us.
Absolutely.
And I want to ask Des, what's it like? I mean, who knew? I mean, during this pandemic that we talk about a high and a low. We're going through this pandemic. We're watching so many sad, horrible stories. But in the midst of all of this, we have this bright spot here in Kansas City.
I mean, for Kansas Cityans, I think it's a really special thing. We entered a dynasty type era right at the beginning of a really tough time for not only the country, but Kansas City. I think it was a beacon of light and a beacon of hope for a lot of people, and it looks like Kansas City took that and continued to run with it.
That's what I was saying. No one-trick pony. I'm glad we kept that tradition going, and here we are again today. So let's check in with Dr. Dana Hawkinson. It's been a really fun Red Friday so far. You've got your Lucky Mahomes bobblehead, so it's just fun. I'm glad you're with us today. So
yeah, hold on just a second. Wait. I'm getting some breaking news right now from our producers. It looks like Andy Reid, I guess, was reviewing all of Stites' fantasy camp.
Yeah, he made
tape.
He made those tapes.
And I think they just signed him. I think they rostered him to help out with the receiving corps.
Yes. Oh my God.
So I think he's going to be suiting up. Hopefully, we can get him a couple passes in the slot there.
He doesn't stand out at all in that crowd.
He should be fine. He should be fine.
In.
Hope he doesn't take any hits, but
well, and he has hair. This is good. I love this. Okay, so serious question, but a hypothetical question, because we know it's going to happen to someone this weekend. So somebody goes to the Super Bowl party, then on Monday or Tuesday they learn that they've been exposed or they start having symptoms after they've gone to this party. Run us down. CDC guidelines, what do they do?
Yeah, well, again, luckily we are out of that multifaceted trauma for everybody from that Super Bowl that we just heard about when people got those free trips. But SARS-CoV-2, COVID is still out there, although less intense as it was before as far as people getting sick and coming to the hospital, but it is still out there. There are still populations at risk, and so it is important to understand what to do if you were exposed to COVID. And this is from the CDC recommendations. So the biggest thing is if you learn of an exposure, you want to mask for 10 days from the day after that exposure. On day 6, you want to test yourself. All during that time, you also want to keep evaluating for symptoms, anything from fever, runny nose, cough, sore throat, anything like that, and test if you get those. But also, again, if you have no symptoms, test on day 6, keep wearing that mask through day 10. And then, obviously, if you do have symptoms or if you do test on day 6 and you're positive, then you want to isolate and start that process.
All right, Hawk, thanks so much. We always need that reminder when we're going to be with a bunch of people this weekend. And of course, what's a Super Bowl party without great food? The chefs here at the health system, they've been coming up with some really fun Chiefs-inspired meals all season long. They have fun names and fun stuff. So we are going to bring in Brooke Thurman, the Assistant Director for Dining Services. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Looking good this morning, my friend.
Well, thank you.
All right. I'm gonna send this down Dez's way.
All right. That's what we're featuring today.
And then I'm gonna send this down. And we got this, all this yummy food.
All right.
And thank you, Alex, for the water, just in case this doesn't go down. Okay, so tell us what's on the menu. You've been doing this all season, but what's on the menu this weekend?
So today we are doing the, Meet Me in Vegas. So we have 3 meats that's been topped on top of crispy sweet potato fries, coleslaw, frizzled onions, and you get a choice of 3 different types of sauces.
Okay.
Tomorrow, we're going to do the Big Red Bowl. It's going to be tater tots. It's going to be topped with a choice of different types of meats, sour cream and cheese sauce, pico de gallo, jalapenos.
It's like a tacho thing.
Like a tacho. And then lastly, on Sunday, we got the Big Red Dog. It's going to be a nice size game day hot dog topped with chili, cheese, onions, and Frito chips.
Everything is better topped with Fritos.
Everything is topped.
I'm going to ask the dumbest question ever. Any way to make these healthy?
You could do a plant-based meat on some of these items. You could air fry your sweet potatoes. You could air fry your tater tots. You could do a light dressing on your coleslaw.
Or just not eat it at all.
Or just not eat it at all.
Okay, well, that's
but,
not
you know,
happening.
we're here pretending that we're at the game.
Absolutely. Don't hold back, right, Des? Do not.
Right.
This is not the time to hold back, go on diets.
250. I don't hold back often when it comes to eating.
So how have you guys been coming up with the ideas? And I mean, because what happens is the more we go into these games, you guys have to keep coming up with good menu ideas and fun names.
So we have a unique gentleman, my Vice President of Hospitality Services, Jeff Navor. It's one of his tricks of his trade, and he likes to come up with these fun and creative names. We come up with the food, he comes up with the name, and then everyone at the health system gets to enjoy it.
That's awesome. So, and I know we're going to have a lot of people working this weekend while some of us are out enjoying. So this is going to be a fun way for them to kind of get in the spirit and,
yes, it is.
And get full and have
each
fun.
one of them will come with a bottle of water, so that's even better.
Okay.
We'll wash it down.
All right, wash it down. Okay, and we're going to jump
This is all
in.
for you.
Des and I are going to hold off as long as we can for just 1 second. But thank you for being with us. Always good to have you.
You're welcome.
Well, earlier this week, the Chiefs cheerleaders, Casey Wolf, the Chiefs Rumble drumline, and a few Chiefs ambassadors pumped up some of our employees during the pep rally. Des was there, I know. At the pep rally, Health System President and CEO Bob Page connected the success of the Chiefs back to the bigger success of Kansas City as a whole.
You know, I've been in Kansas City for 27 years, and I don't think there's been a more exciting time to be in Kansas City than there is today. And so, you know, we have an airport we're not embarrassed by, right? We now have, we had the draft, we got the World Cup, we've got a stadium devoted to a women's professional sports franchise for the first time ever. We have a football team that's going to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years. And here's what I tell people. There's a renaissance going on in Kansas City, and at the center of that renaissance are 2 organizations, the Kansas City Chiefs and the University of Kansas Health System.
I saw you nodding your head when he was listing all the great things that are going on in the city, but in sports. Just what do you make of all this?
Oh, I love it. And as a girl dad, you know, seeing the women's soccer stadium come to life and seeing that organization grow. One of my good friends, Danny Welniak, is over there. It's really, really exciting, not only for a fan of sports, but a fan of female and women's sports.
I think you and Naomi are going to have some good times, a good dad-daughter times. Okay, so you and I are going to probably nibble on this just a bit, but I just want to thank you for being with me today. This is just made it fun.
Absolutely,
so,
thank you for having me.
I want a little bump there because we did it. All right, before we go, we do want to ask though your prediction. Do you make predictions? That's not like superstitious, right, or anything?
You know what? There's a video out there of the Hard Knocks, guy who's a number expert, talking to Mecole Hardman, said that Mecole Hardman's team's going to the Super Bowl and would win versus the 49ers 31-21. That's my prediction.
That's what you got. Okay. Holding you to that. Okay. So again, thanks to everybody for watching us today. We're going to leave you with some of our furry Chiefs fans. These are pets from our health system employees, so make it a safe weekend. Go out there and enjoy, and of course, go Chiefs. Coming up Monday on the Morning Medical Update. Living with epilepsy, Grace Lindsay never stopped searching for a solution to her seizures until she found a team of specialists. I'm Jessica Lovell on the next Morning Medical Update. The surgical solution offered by doctors and the methods used to pinpoint the source of her seizures. Monday at 8.
Subscribe to our Morning Medical Update and Open Mics with Dr. Stites podcasts. Now, everywhere podcasts are available.